Your first step in a basement, as in other regions of the house, is to seal around all penetrations in band joists. Also, note that walls that leak water must be repaired before insulating. Then cut pieces of insulation to fit against the header joists and push them into place between each floor joist. Open the package carefully to avoid tearing the facing material. There are several possible methods of installing basement insulation depending on the wall design, the builder's specs, and your company's usual procedures. Johns Manville's basement blanket may be installed either horizontally or vertically. In the horizontal installation, the blanket is held against the sill plate at the top of the basement wall with furring strips. Pre-drill an ample supply of 1x2s before you begin installing the blanket. Measure the length of insulation you'll need for the full wall and cut it on the unfaced side. Grip it by the flange and with the face side toward you, position it against the sill plate at the top of the basement wall. Then position a furring strip and nail through the furring and the flange to the sill plate to secure the insulation. Whenever possible, pull the insulation behind any ductwork, plumbing, or electrical that may lie along the walls. Otherwise, carefully cut and fit the blanket around obstructions. When you cover the full wall, you'll need to attach a second length of the blanket to the lower edge of the first one. If you have cut a piece to fit and there is no flange, create one by pulling back the insulation. Overlap the flanges of the top and bottom pieces so that the insulation butts together tightly. Then staple through the flange to hold the pieces together. An alternate method is to attach furring strips to the wall at the midpoint and bottom of the wall, then staple the blanket flange to the furring strips. To complete the job and give the insulation a finished appearance, tape over the joint where the two pieces abut, and also tape all joints, seams, and stapled edges with 3-inch wide white vinyl patch tape. Vertical installation is appropriate in many situations, especially for non-standard height walls. The 4-foot product is generally used here. The first step is to cut lengths of insulation a few inches longer than the height of the walls. Fit the blankets tightly together. Then use 3-inch white vinyl patch tape to seal the seams along the full length of the insulation. Also use the tape to seal the insulation around doors or windows. When there are windows, one method is to make a metal window frame and attach it to the walls around the window. Cut out the insulation, tuck it behind the frame to finish, or attach furring strips to the wall around the windows and staple insulation to the strips, then tape. The last step in a vertical installation is to trim the bottom of the insulation so that it is flush with the floor. With either vertical or horizontal installation, an alternate method to using furring strips is to use a Hilti-type gun to drive fasteners into the concrete or cinder blocks. This completes a quality job that will save energy and money for the life of the house. All that remains to be done is to double-check for possible tears or leaks, collect your tools and any usable insulation, and clean up and dispose of scraps.